Well, do you ever wonder why some people thrive on certain diets while others struggle? Or why fitness plans leave you feeling exhausted while your friend gets ripped? Today, we're exploring genetic testing for nutrition, fitness, and disease risk, helping you unlock the secrets written in your DNA. This segment sponsored by Healing Arts Centers. We got Dr. Tammy joining us once again. Great to see you, Tammy. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. It's always fun to be here.
Yes. So tell us a little bit more about this. Let's learn about nutritional needs. Is that where we can start?
Yeah. You know, it's funny, we're talking about Father's Day. One of the things we're always thinking about recliners and stuff, but really the gift of health, because all we have is our health. At the end of the day, it's currency. You've got nothing if you don't have your health. So it's so cool to be able to break down your DNA and to see what's going on in there and to know your disease risks and how to modify that. And we all, as humans, are only less than 1% different in our DNA. So it's those little differences that can really, when we talk about genetics and our family history of things, that can really matter. And genetic testing, we think of like breast cancer, and of course I'm the hormone girl, so we think of the BRCA and stuff like that, but there's so much more information in there that we can get. For example, I have a family history of dementia or Alzheimer's. So there's something called epigenetics, in which you can know your risk factors and you can make changes or be, proactive with things. Like you've got a risk of colon cancer. You should know that, and just because maybe you're adopted or those things can pop up, we call those mutations. And so knowing what those risk factors are could make you, most people don't think about going to get a colonoscopy.
Right.
But, you've got that, it can be a game changer. Also medications. Cholesterol medications, depression medications, they're like the #1 prescribed medications, but we all know that some medications don't work for some people, and there's testing that we can do. We can take basic data from like 23andMe, run it through medical software, and we can see if you're going to have side effects, if that's going to work, because really what it's looking at is your liver's ability to process those different medications. So much information. And, now it's like really available to the public because we have those kits that you can order online. But really what you want to do is you can look at those and you can see diet and exercise, which is great. And then, what your predispositions are to have obesity or diabetes. So do you go low carb? Do you look at thyroid kind of issues? And also just hormones. Are you going to have side effects to hormones?
Sure.
Some people do, some people don't. So tons of information in there.
What do we do? Let's say we have one of those tests done and we have our genetic mapping, I suppose. Do we take it to someone like yourself and say, hey, help me. I'm trying to reach this goal and I don't really know what to do with this, right? I mean, that's what I feel like what I would do. Is that what you would encourage people to do?
And I think that's the missing test. So when you have functional medicine doctors who are really passionate about this, we're all about being proactive, preventive, right? And so really what you want to do is you want to do a test, but then if you have someone who can take it that step further and give you recommendations, I can also tell, like vitamin D, some people are vitamin D deficient, a lot of people are. I can tell you that that's in your genetics so that you're always going to have to take extra vitamin D or methylated vitamins, if anybody's familiar with things like MTHFR, which are, that sounds like a bad word, I know. But that's a condition where you can't process in your DNA, in your metabolism. So we're seeing obesity, we're seeing things like autism, all sorts of disease states, including cancer, that can be related to those, quote, methylation issues. And so knowing that, you can know the right supplements to take, and some of our supplements are just junk. I mean, they're just like, you get them at Walmart, and there's things like folic acid in there, but there are actually forms of those supplements, like folate, that are completely different than the synthetic folic acid, or things like iron, completely different structure. So if that's important, then good information to have.
Certainly. Well, how can people, you've piqued my interest just talking about this. How can people reach out to you if they have further questions?
Yeah, so you can just go to our website, healingartscenters.com. Just look me up. I'm kind of all over the place
You
on
are.
YouTube. And, I've got videos and too about that. But really what we want to do is just get you in, talk about your risk factors, and then we do that whole analysis. You go home with a little cheek swab or a blood test. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get that data back, but it can be a game changer. And, we want our dads that are around a long time and our moms too, but it can be a game changer as far as, oh, okay, we know you've got that. We're going to get you in for your colonoscopy, or we're going to get you in for that screening. And it's not just about colonoscopies, but really just the preventive stuff. And are you going to be prone to certain diseases? And, with epigenetics, what kind of changes can you make just to sort of catch that, as well as different diets and exercise.
Of course,
and how your
and that's the
hormones
reason
play.
folks need to reach out to you. So, so thank you for joining us again. Thanks as always to Healing Arts Centers for sponsoring this segment. And stick around, we do have more Good Day NWA coming up right after a short break.